Here's a breakfast meal prep for you that has about 1,000 calories and 42 grams of protein. I see your guys' comments. The lads want high calorie breakfast preps too, so I said, okay, no problem. I'm gonna put enough calories into a baked oatmeal to power a city block. And what came of it was this Big Boy Baked Oatmeal that's so easy to prep, it would almost be rude if you didn't make it. Here's how I did it. Place a large bowl over a digital scale and to it add 5 cups or 400 grams of rolled oats, 4 scoops or 120 grams of vanilla whey protein powder, 1.5 teaspoons or 6 grams of baking powder, and 1/2 of a teaspoon or 3 grams of salt. Then you can mix that all together so that no clumps remain. Then add a second bowl over the scale and to it add 4 medium-sized bananas or 400 grams worth. Mash these bananas up with the back of a fork until they are relatively smooth and almost liquidy in consistency. Next, crack 4 eggs into the bowl and follow that up with 3 tablespoons or 45 grams of maple syrup. The recipe also calls for 4 tablespoons or 56 grams of melted butter. Microwave the butter for 30 seconds or so to get it to liquefy and then add it to the bowl with the rest of the ingredients. Next, add 3.5 cups or 840 grams of whole milk. And lastly, we're going to add 1 cup or 112 grams of chopped walnuts for some easy extra calories. Stir the contents of the bowl together and make sure you beat the eggs so that they get well incorporated. And then once everything is mixed together, you can pour the bowl of the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients and mix one more time to combine. Move that bowl out of the way and replace it with a 13 by 9 inch casserole dish that you spray liberally with oil. Dump the entirety of your oat mixture into your casserole dish and spread it around a bit to make sure the fillings are well distributed throughout. Move this into your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 Celsius for 55 to 60 minutes. At some point while that oatmeal is in the oven, you can make the peanut butter drizzle to go on top. To a bowl, add 3 tablespoons or 48 grams of peanut butter and toss this in the microwave to loosen it up a bit. Then you can add in 3 tablespoons or 45 grams of maple syrup and 1/2 of a teaspoon or 1.5 grams of cinnamon. Stir this all together until it is thoroughly mixed. Then I transfer this combo over into the corner of a Ziploc bag, which I use as a makeshift piping bag. Give that bag a couple of twists to trap it all in the corner, and then set this aside until you're ready to top your oatmeal later. After your oatmeal is finished baking, you can pull it from the oven. I let mine go for an hour, and you know it's ready when it's firm to the touch in the center. I pass a knife around the perimeter of the pan just to help it release from the edges, and then let it cool for a bit before I cut into it. This recipe is going to make 5 servings. You can either try to figure out how to cut it into 5 equal servings or do 10 like I did and just put 2 slices into each container. 10 slices would ideally be 1 cut the long ways down the center and then 4 equal cuts in the opposite direction. As I was cutting this, my pieces were getting smaller and smaller as I moved down the oatmeal and I said, oh God, you're doing the worst job in the history of the world at making these even pieces. But luckily I'm a world-class problem solver and I realized I can just take the smaller pieces and pair them with one of the bigger ones when I put them in the container and it's all going to even out in the end. So don't fret if your pieces aren't very even either. You can make it work and it's going to turn out just fine. The last step is to top the oatmeal with our peanut butter drizzle. I wait to do this until after the oatmeal has been cut because if you try to do it before, the peanut butter drizzle just sticks to the sides of the knife and it's the best part. I'm not trying to waste it all on the side of the knife when it could be going in my mouth. What am I, an idiot? So I do it after. Speaking of idiots, look at my big fat head getting in the shot. What an oaf. This Big Boy Baked Oatmeal recipe makes 5 servings and each dish is going to have around 980 calories and 42 grams of protein. Fitting almost 1,000 calories into this small amount of food wasn't an easy thing to do without going crazy with the fat. These will last for up to 5 days in the fridge. They work great as a breakfast, or I like to use them sometimes as a midnight snack. Toss on the lids and move them into the refrigerator for the week. These baked oatmeals are incredibly easy to make. I started this one at 10 p.m. with no ingredients ready, and at 10:11, all the prep work for the baked oatmeal was done. All I had to do was bake. Another awesome aspect of these baked oatmeals is that they are fairly cheap to make. It's going to be hard for you to get 1,000 calories elsewhere for less. This one ended up costing me $2.48 per serving, or $12.38 total for all of the ingredients that I used. The total cost to purchase all the ingredients was $122.31, but I buy my oats, whey, syrup, and peanut butter at Costco, and I've got enough of those to last for weeks or even months. If the cost to purchase ingredients is restricting for you, I would recommend checking out the bulk bins at your grocery store so you can get the exact amount of ingredients you need. So as we grow farther into bulking season this year, this Big Boy Baked Oatmeal can be an easy, low-effort recipe to add to your repertoire for gaining weight. The written version of the recipe with all the ingredients and instructions listed is published on my website, and that's linked in the description below. Again, this is so easy to make, it would be rude for you not to. So give it a try. If you're looking for other high-calorie meal prep recipes to help you gain weight, check out these 2 linked here. See you next week.